The New York Times just revealed something stunning. Iowa, Trump country, has the worst economy in America, and it's not even close. This is a state that voted for Barack Obama twice, then went all in for Trump, and now they're getting crushed by the very policies they voted for. The promise: Trump is gonna fight for American farmers.
Under the next Trump administration, we will have a rebirth of loyalty to the American farmer and to the American flag. I will defend you on trade, and if any other country tries to take advantage of our farmers, there will be a very steep price for them to pay.
The reality? Iowa's GDP dropped over 6% in the first quarter, worst in the nation. China, which bought over $12 billion worth of Iowa soybeans last year, stopped buying from America entirely. Where did those sales go? Argentina, the same Argentina Trump just gave a $20 billion bailout to. An 86-year-old Iowa farmer watched Argentine soybeans shipped to China while his family's harvest sat unsold. His grandson's wife put it simply: death by 1,000 paper cuts. The promise: tariffs will protect American jobs.
Why impose tariffs that you know are hurting American businesses?
They're not hurting, they're helping because they're creating jobs in America, and we're creating tremendous amounts of jobs in America like you've never seen.
The reality? John Deere laid off hundreds of workers. Trump's tariffs cost them over $500 million. Fertilizer prices up 14%, equipment costs soaring. Fifth-generation farmer Aaron Lehman is making do with a 25-year-old combine because he can't afford a new one. He's been wondering if his son will even be able to farm for a living. The promise: deporting undocumented immigrants will free up jobs for Americans.
So as we create millions of new manufacturing jobs here in Georgia and nationwide, we will make sure that these jobs go to American citizens, not illegal citizens, people that came into our country illegally. Your wages will rise, your costs will fall, your job opportunities will grow, because we will conduct the largest deportation operation, sadly, in American history.
The reality? Meatpacking plants are hemorrhaging workers. JBS laid off 200 people. Tyson plant's losing workers too. Nobody's lining up to take those jobs. Production is down. At La Placita grocery store in Waterloo, business has dropped over 25% in 3 months. Manufacturing down, agriculture crushed, labor shortages everywhere. Iowa voted for this 3 times. The midterms are coming. The question is simple: will Iowa vote for this again?
Miami's a fucking shithole right now. It's a shithole. And if you're a local, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Even if you want to pretend that Miami's great and oh, it's the best city, because I know a lot of you locals like to pretend that. But you see it. You see it when you're driving. You drive by houses, small little houses that have 5, 6, 7, 8 cars parked outside, because that's how many people are living there. Maybe even more, because some of them don't have cars. More people are living there than the number of cars that you see. You know that the shit is getting really stinky here.
Alright guys, we have to talk about it because, Trump voters in red states are waking up to the horrors of what they voted for. Exactly. Finding out a little bit too late that Trump promises were just that, empty promises. A lot of them are living paycheck to paycheck in Florida, and MAGA farmers are crying for bailouts. But they're realizing that the orange man cares about Argentina more than he does them, because he just gave $40 billion to Argentina. But let's keep watching and see what's happening in Missouri. Red states are crying right now. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hit a like button. And don't forget to leave a comment. Really helps with the algorithm. Let's keep watching.
Here it is, all the Trump people that voted in red states. Okay, I'm in Missouri. This is my little tiny town paper, okay? Not front page news, but second page news, okay? Right here. Madison County Senior Center to close after 50 years amid funding crisis. Leaves hundreds without meals, okay? After nearly 50 years in service, the Nutrition Center, which acts like a restaurant, except with special meal plans and activities like games and music, offering a social place for young and old alike. It also delivers meals for over 1,000 Medicaid and Title III recipients. It is with deep regret and sadness, blah, 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 that they cannot no longer serve their people. Okay, then here, Williamsville news, okay? Today, let's go back to Tuesday, the 21st is what it says right there, okay? And it says, according to a headline, Missouri lost 1.6 million pounds of federal food aid this year. Why? Setting cuts to federal programs that buys food from U.S. farmers and send it to food banks. They're not doing that anymore. Trump administration, it actually says the Trump administration, not those far left liberals. It says Trump did this back in March, late March, when Trump was the president. It says this right here. He was president. Slashed $500 million that has been allocated to food aid. That canceled 124 scheduled deliveries to Missouri food banks. There's no food stamps. Now there's no food banks. Now there's no nutritional centers. The people of Missouri did not vote in their best interest.
Red states out here telling folks to pray on an empty stomach like it's a diet plan from Jesus himself. So you know that SNAP benefits, food stamps, are no longer available to millions of families in red states, right? Meanwhile, blue states over here doing community service, pulling funds together and making sure that people can still feed their children. But the red states, they said, no, you just need to pray about it and God will provide. Like that new meal plan is the Holy Spirit in a glass of water. Imagine being told to pray while your stomach sounds like a thunderstorm in surround sound. You can't even tell me America not ghetto. Blue states, they over here feeding people. But the red states act like they're hosting a Hunger Games sequel. May the odds be in your pantry's favor. Don't forget, while you're trying to stretch noodles into a gourmet meal, your president was giving himself an extravagant party at Mar-a-Lago. I'm talking shrimp, steak, and even dancers with no hips. Like a buffet sponsored by your tax dollars. But hey, you keep praying. Maybe one of those angels in Republican heaven will DoorDash you some groceries. In America, this is what freedom looks like in 2025. Freedom to suffer, the freedom to struggle, and the freedom to thank Republican Jesus for crumbs. Because apparently in red states, poverty is a test of your faith, not a policy failure. But hey, how y'all feeling? Y'all tired of winning yet? Because from where I'm standing, it looks like people are winning the Hunger Games, but losing dinner.
Did you know there's a $6 billion contingency fund for food stamps? The only reason why Donald Trump won't release food stamps to Trump supporters who live in red states who are mostly white is because he doesn't want to. In 4 days, people like this will be starving and their children will be starving because they voted for Donald J. Trump. I personally, a Democrat, I'm going to be in Hawaii. I'm going to be enjoying my time. I'm going to be eating. I just want you Trump supporters, farmers, cattle ranchers, other people he screwed, just to remember the ballroom. When you're going to those food banks that we canceled funding for from Doge, oh, where's all the savings for Doge? Oh, you didn't know that was a con job? That was a scam? Yeah, that actually cost us $21 billion.
All right, we gotta understand that these are the consequences of voting for policies that you do not understand, all because of hatred. Because a lot of these MAGA bigots actually went ahead and voted for the orange man because of hatred and racism. They wanted other people to suffer. But now, actually, it's trickling down to them because it's catching up with their hates. A lot of MAGA Trump supporters in red state are on the verge of going hungry because EBT, SNAP benefits, food stamps are running out of money. Why? You might ask. We all know that the government is actually shut down because the Repubs do not want to give healthcare apparently to illegal immigrants, but they're ending up hurting a lot of people in their own base. Well, you F around, you find out.
I just saw a post about a gal who is losing Medicaid, and because of that, she can't afford her prescriptions that include 2 SSRIs, an antipsychotic, and benzos. Which has got me thinking about how many fucking people are about to fucking lose it in this country. I give it like 2-3 weeks. And we're gonna start seeing a lot of fucking psychotic breaks and manic episodes around here. Double that with people not being able to afford their groceries and rent. When people have nothing left to lose, including their fucking sanity, there's a reason they're building fucking camps to rehabilitate the mentally ill right now. You know that big, huge complex right outside Salt Lake City they just built for the homeless? That's also for people who are mentally ill that they can forcibly commit. Project 2025, remember, this is all planned. Anyone they see as a drain on society, they want to get rid of or force into forced labor. That's what's happening right now.
What do you mean you didn't know? I am being so sincere right now because I truly want to understand how it is possible that in this day and age where we have access to any piece of information that we want in our hands, and we have 40 years of history that we can look back on for this individual, where a scenario exists that you legitimately wouldn't know. There have been dozens of women who have made allegations of SA that span 4 decades. There's video, pictures, audio, testimonies, flight logs. He has been held accountable in court for one of those essays. Where's the confusion? This is also an individual that has a history of conning people, not paying people. He's been in court hundreds of times over the last 4 decades. And I think he's lost about 92% of these lawsuits because he, in fact, does scam and cheat people. He has been found guilty of fraud in a court of law on 30 however many counts. Where's the confusion? Why are you not connecting that all of those things that span 40 years are the same exact person that is now in the White House right now? Where's the disconnect? And beyond that, where was the confusion about his policies? He told you what he was going to do. There's a 900-page manifesto. I know he said that, no, I don't know anything about that. But before the election, I asked, what is the difference between the policies that he's presenting and he's owning up to and the policies in Project 2025? I never got an answer because they were in fact the same. What he was saying out loud as the policies that he wanted to implement was what was in Project 2025. Yet we were told, no, that's not the case. How did you not know? I want to understand.
All right, folks, it is what it is. And I think, this lady is actually right, because how can MAGA not connect the dots? Because this guy has a history. He's a billionaire. He has a history of bankrupting his own businesses. He has a history of felony charges. He has an history of SA allegations. Now, you come up here and choose the same guy to actually become your president. All right, we agree there is some atonement that can happen in one's life. Someone can actually reform to become a better human being. So we might actually forgive the first time that you guys actually put him in office. That was back in his first term. But how can people actually overlook you guys going ahead and doing it again, over and over again? And some of you all, if you are given the chance to do it, a 4th time, because some of you all actually did it for 3 times, even when he lost to Joe Biden, you would do it. And it's strange. The MAGA cult is actually something out of this world, because you cannot understand MAGA. They come up here crying and regretting their votes, but they never listen. They never learn. They only want to look for sympathy when it's affecting them, not when it actually matters to do the right thing. But let me know in the comments, guys, what do you think about today's episode? Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hit that like button. See you on the next episode.